PB World with BoardGameGeek at Gen Con 2016, and I'm here with Nathan McNair of Pandasaurus Games. How are you doing?
Doing great, thanks for having me.
No worries. And he's here to show us Machi Koro Bright Lights Big City, which is a new standalone Machi Koro.
It is, and it's exclusively available at Target.
Yep.
So it's a new base game, it's not an expansion. If you've played Machi Koro, it will feel familiar.
Cool.
Some of the cards will feel familiar, a few will feel a little bit different. And I think the way you set up the game is gonna feel very different. So what we've done is try to bring in some of what makes the expansions more modular, give you a little bit more variability at the game, without bringing in, sometimes when you play with the expansions, you mix all the cards together, you draw cards out, you can wind up with a bad mix of cards. It doesn't give you a good variety. So what we've done is taken some of kind of suggestions from Suganuma, who's the designer, and some feedback that the internet had for the Machi Koro expansions to bring in that variability while still allowing the game to roll smoothly.
So kind of like a best of.
A best of, and also a game that's a little bit more accessible to Machi with the expansions is to a new player, somebody who might go to Target to buy a game who's not as familiar with the hobby, to bring some of that in while still keeping a fast game that's easy to understand. So we brought in some cards from the expansions. We didn't bring in some of the more complicated cards.
Does it have brand new cards as well?
It has one brand new card,
Yeah.
which is the Moon Tower. We'll kind of get to him in a second.
Awesome.
So the first thing you're going to notice is when you go to set the game up, I'm going to slide these down ever so slightly, is you're going to draw 5 cards from each of these decks until you have a unique setup of 5 cards to buy, which is similar to what you get with the expansion. But the difference being there's 3 decks. There's a cards 6 and under, 7 and up, and the kind of special buildings, which are the purple ones. So what this does that's a little bit different, and same rules if the same card comes out, you stack it. So you have 5 unique cards in each stack to purchase. See how good I am at shuffling. And what this does is it means that there's always a card available. So early in the game, you know you'll be able to buy a card that's 1 through 6. So early game, you know those cards are there. It gives you a little bit more control and speed over how the game goes. And it also makes sure that these purple cards, which have a tendency, if you're playing with the expansion, to clog up the market with lots of purple cards, and no one can afford them because they're quite expensive. So on your turn, much like Machi Koro, you're going to roll a die. Everyone starts with City Hall from Harbor Expansion. Wheatfield and the Bakery, and you can kind of see all of, it's nighttime now in Machi Koro. The art's all been shifted to be night. You roll a die, you see if it activates a card. In my case it does. I get a coin, I get to buy 1 card from the market, and that's kind of standard Machi at this point. The difference being this setup, which streamlines the game, keeps it fast. The other thing that's going to be unique is the Moon Tower, and what I like about this is a card Suganuma designed that replaces the Radio Tower. The Radio Tower let you re-roll dice once a turn. And in a die rolling game, I always like there to be something to mitigate the randomness of a die roll. What this allows you to do is roll 3 die and pick 2 of them.
Okay.
So if you're trying to build an engine that runs on rolling a 7, you have a little bit more control over the die roll. You can look and kind of figure out which die roll is better for me, which one activates my cards quicker. So it really speeds up in-game, because if you've been building an engine, if you have a design, it makes it slightly more likely that you're gonna, say, activate your cheese factory and get a lot of money in. So we're trying to come up with a way to sort of speed the game up and make sure that, so with the expansions, the game can go 45 minutes an hour, and we're trying to keep it under 30 minutes the way the base game was, while still adding in some of that advanced setup that you get with Harbor and Millionaire's Row.
Awesome. Yeah, I was going to ask about the 3 dice, but you've already explained it. So there we go.
There's an extra die.
Very cool. Well, that is Machi Koro Bright Lights Big City, only available at Target in the US. Is it available internationally at all?
It's not right now.
Okay.
I think early next year we're going to look at some international distribution.
Okay.
But right now, just at Target.
Cool. Well, thank you very much.
Great, thank you.